Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Striving to Thriving, Redefining Success. I'm your host, Barbara Ellison. I'm a transformational life trainer, and I love this show because we talk about the things that impact our lives. And I love it. And I'm so excited to introduce Dr. Amira Hall. So, Amira, welcome to the show. And I would love to hear about you and then introduce your guests. And then we're going to talk about who we are and what we do.
Well, they call me a lot of names, but I'm referring to my as a career catalyst. And I am a transformational life coach myself. I'm an expert in quantum healing. Yeah.
Cool beans.
And
All
so
right.
I'm delighted to welcome several guests with us today. And I'm going to go to my right, Dr. Nilu. She's a good friend of mine here in Georgetown, Texas. And Dr. Nilu, would you like to tell us what you do and what your expertise is?
Well, I'm chiropractor, but at this time I'm actually doing quantum leap coaching.
Fantastic. And we have Therese Scully with us.
Howdy. I'm in gloriously sunny Scottsdale, Arizona today with a little cold. So apologies for the scratchy voice. So I call myself the intuitive business mentor. And what that means is I blend my background of being a psychotherapist and a business coach for 20 years and kind of a crazy ninja-like intuitive. And I use that to help high achieving business women really crack that next level. Because most of us know what we should be doing, but it's us who are in our own way. And so I'm the person that you come to when you're like, gosh, I don't need strategy. I need something else, right? So that's what I do. And I love the work.
That's beautiful. Yeah, the missing link. And we have Kamal Al-Rasi with us.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. My name is Kamal. I help leaders close the gap, and that gap is usually a mile wide. So I've been known as I'm the last coach you'll ever need. So I'm just very excited to be here with you to help you all. You know, many have had so many coaches, and I'm your guy. I'm just excited to serve today, share with you how I did it and what we're up to. So thank you so much.
Fantastic. And we have beautiful Anna Kowalska also.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. And I work with women to support them in creating their sacred success. So sacred success is, I know, so appropriate for the conversation today. It's the merging of your purpose and prosperity. How do I walk the earth and pay my bills and also do it in connection with my spirit, my soul, my higher calling?
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And last but not least, Daryl Gurney. Welcome.
Hey, everyone. I'm Daryl Gurney. I'm the back 40 career guy. Y'all there in Texas know the term the back 40. It's this big uncultivated patch of land behind the ranch that has unlimited growth potential. And so I liken that to the second half of our life and what's really possible that we haven't cultivated. And it just takes stepping into the brave space to actually go out there and cultivate the life we finally want to live.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Daryl. So,
isn't that absolutely the truth? And that's a part of like my story. For me, I mean, I thought I was going to be married and stay married and, and dance at my great grandchildren's weddings. But 13 years ago, my husband passed away. Mm-hmm. And when I woke up from my widow's fog, I realized in that moment that I had no idea of who I was outside of all the labels that I had put on myself of being a daughter and then being a wife and then being a mother and then being a divorced failure, but then being a successful wife again and a grandmother. And now I'm a widow. Who is Barbara in all of that? And that was the moment it's like, all right, I cannot go on like this another moment. Something has got to change. And now that's one of the things. Now I work with late career business professionals who are facing retirement and they have no idea of who they are outside of their job title and their job description. Who am I going to be when I don't have my job anymore? Who am I going to be when I don't have that title or that corporate structure or whatever it is that they're relying on right now? So it has been just such a blessing. And to meet absolutely wonderful people that we're all kind of sort of talking about the same thing. It's living your best life and being the best version of you. But sometimes that takes time and effort and just critical moments where, all right, something's got to change. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, of just how we have redefined success in our lives. So who wants to start? And I would love to hear from all of you. Amira, great.
Yeah, when you said, something's got to change, I think I've had 4 or 5 of those moments throughout my life, and there's been peaks and a lot of valleys. And for me, the big transformational moment was I was flying high. I had a career that just wouldn't stop. It was so bright I had to wear sunglasses, and but something was missing, and I didn't know. I couldn't put my finger on it, and that's when I took a spiritual journey to Egypt, where I had a near-death experience. Now, that in itself is a long story, but I really want to say that when I came back to the U.S., I fell apart. I was depressed and angry and stuck in some deep, dark emotions. Something had happened to me, but I couldn't. This was before the internet in 1998. I couldn't put my finger on what that was. So it took me on a journey of trying to find out what happened. I just wanted my life back because I had fired my family, I fired my friends, and then I got fired. I had a 6-figure income back in 1998, and it all just went down the toilet. And so I just was willing to do whatever it took to get my life back. And that's when I started discovering what I call quantum tools and learning what I am, which is energy, and learning how to navigate that to get my career back. Well, I did. I started to thrive and I stopped striving or struggling. And in that process, I started interviewing again. And what happened was I would get to the 3rd interview, 6-figure jobs, and they wouldn't hire me. They wouldn't select me. And that happened 3 times over. And by then I was kicking, dust bunnies in the hallway at night, mad as heck at God and the universe, and couldn't figure out what I was doing until I surrendered, until I really let go and followed this path. And I've been doing this work for 25 years, helping people get out of their muck and get unstuck and thrive. Yeah. It's been magical. It's been wonderful. Hello?
Who's next?
Did you guys all fall off the planet?
No,
speechless.
I'm just trying to figure out the dust bunnies. I'm like figuring out the kicking the dust bunnies. So
I don't know where that came from. I must have downloaded it.
Good.
Yeah. So I come across people over the years that are continually trying to fight their way through this block. And I think, like, for me now, I've been focusing on with people that are in a career transition, because we often think it's that if I just get a new job, or Barbara, you got a new husband, right? Or
husband,
or you get a new car, or, I went on a spiritual journey, and that's going to be the big breakaway. And it's really coming home to ourselves and finding that path and the secret. And that, to me, is what redefining success is.
So beautiful.
Go ahead. Are you going to go, Kamal?
Yeah, I was going to go. So is that right, Jess?
Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, so it's like a deja vu, right? You get to a point in your career where you start waking up, and I call it the awareness process. And I started asking questions about 8 years ago, like, is that all there is to it? And then one day it hit me when I wanted to send some money back home. I'm from Lebanon. I came on a boat, and that's a long story. And I wanted to send some money.
Was it?
No, it wasn't.
You had a near death too?
It was pretty close. It was a little worse than that, but I couldn't give like $1,000. I couldn't donate $2,000. I'm like, I'm making 6 figures. I'm living in North America. I've got 5 degrees. What the heck is wrong? How could you be living in the richest country in the world, Canada, US, if you're in a modern place in Europe, making it close to 6 figures, and you can't put it on the side, 1,000, 2,000 away to help somebody? How is that possible? So I started asking these questions. And that's when I realized that there's a much bigger story, much bigger journey to every one of us. And that's when I started this, leaders, we need to close that gap of what is it that we really want to do. So I started studying Bob Proctor and Earl Nightingale, and it comes down to really doubling down on what is it that you really want to do. What is it what you are in love with? And what is that one thing that you will do it for free if you had to?
Yes.
And then once you start, Can you persist? Can you persist a day, 2 days, 3 days? And most people are not persisting. As a matter of fact, 65% of the people are broke when they're getting close to retirement in this country, in North America, which is a terrible statistic. And that's what got me driven, saying, you know what? I don't want that for me. I don't want that for my friends. And the change has been just phenomenal. And I just love it because I know how this transformation worked. I studied with some of the best world leaders, Earl Nightingale. I still study him every day, Bob Proctor. They're all dead. But guess what? The material is alive. The
Hey, I
spirit
have a
is
secret to
here.
tell you. They're not dead. They're still working through
There
us.
you go. Yeah, you got to
Still
see
working through us.
about the
They're
spirit
still
journey
alive.
thing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just been exciting to help leaders, help myself, my family, my friends, my clients to really close that gap. And the gap is a mile wide. Most of us are settling. And I'd like everybody that's listening to that, you are able. The key is, are you willing? Now we've got the tools, we've got the science and the psychology. You are all able, and we love you so much. You don't know how good you are, how amazing you are. It's in you, and it's waiting to come out. And you just have to allow yourself this journey. So it's just exciting to be here. And Teresa, you want to go next?
No, I love that the bells were ringing, Kamal,
There
as you
you
were
go.
saying, you are able. I'm like, wow, the heavens are really
Opening up.
opening up. That was beautiful. Yeah. So, oof. So I've had a lot of years of a struggle. So let me just share with you. So I got on I've been in the, I'm like the OG. I've been in the coaching space for like 20 plus years, right? Like some of us maybe are that long, right? Like when I started, I go to a networking and I'd say I'm a coach and they'd go, what, golf or tennis? That's how long ago, right? When there wasn't a million. So, doing okay, hit this 6-figure business. And, that's the coveted. Ooh, 6 figures. There's a line, right? Oh, now I'm a winner. I have 6-figure business. And then my boys' dad died suddenly. They were 17 and 21. And it just changed the trajectory of everything. I'm the only parent now. And my oldest son, well, none of them did great, but my oldest son plummeted into addiction. Just within a year, he's a full-blown alcoholic. And it was a 7-year journey of, mental illness and rehabs and overdoses and just trauma. So my income is just, so there goes a 6-figure business. Like it was because I couldn't do anything else. And my nervous system was jacked up. It was the craziest time, right? And so this is interesting because when I think about success, I didn't realize during this period how addicted I was. Barbara, you talked about the label. Oh, I'm a 6-figure. Oh, that was a nice Freudian. Okay, thank you, God. Yes, please. I'm a 6-figure business owner. I really, that came upon me and I was that, right? And then I'm like, well, shit, it's COVID and now I'm living on the SBA loans. Okay, right? Thank you, God, for that, right? And so it just, the kid got a little better and then worse, and my business would go up and down. And then I started, it's so funny how things are. I had a hand injury. Then the next year, a hand surgery. And I remember so profoundly when I had an accident and I was like, okay, wow, I'm left-handed. I can't use a single thing. I could barely do anything. I can't curl my hair. I could barely brush my teeth. And I'm literally mad at God. I'm like, God damn, like really? Really? I just spent a year sick with COVID. Like, really? And the instruction was, this isn't your time to do anything. And I don't know about you, but I'm a doer, right? I'm a get shit done. And my identity is such that I love to create. I love to market. I love to do the work. And the instruction was, no, you're going to heal. And it was such an interesting thing. Like I was so identified with the external success. It was fascinating because I didn't think I had that. I'm like the queen of self-care. I'm all goody and yummy. And it was like, you just sit and you heal for like 5 more months. And I'm negotiating like 2, 3. And it was like, on your ass, 5 months watching Ted Lasso. That's it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it was literally deconstructing all that I had built myself to be. Right. So fast forward, my son will be sober 2 years in September, right? And about a year ago, he was sober maybe a few months. And I was like, wow, I should be farther along. And I'm really gentle with myself. I don't do the shame comparison. I'm really loving and kind because I've done so much work on this. And it was like, I should be farther along because all those people we started together and they're making 7 figures. And my nervous system, I just tuned in and my nervous system was like, no, you shouldn't. You've literally been open for business like a second because your son has been so sick. And so the understanding that we have this addiction and this attraction to who we are and what we've achieved. So it's been a really interesting, like, what's my fuel now? What's my fire now? Because then I swung like I have to help people. I'm so mission driven to like, screw them. I'm so tired. I just got off my dog.
I can relate.
I literally, seriously, I'm like, okay, God, I like seriously, what's my purpose? And it was so fascinating because I'm literally so mission driven. And then when you go through such hell for so many years, it's kind of like, wow. So it's fascinating because I've been in the gooey, that middle where I don't know what my purpose is. Well, I guess my purpose is to heal. Okay, number one, doing that. Dog gets a lot of walks. We're very busy. And then that's been an interesting, and I'm not all done yet, but I don't have the same fire. But I think the fire before, if I can be really real, was a little proving energy and a bit of codependency. I have to save them. I was a therapist. Why do you think we all are therapists, right? So it was an interesting when I pulled apart, like that was cool and it worked, but I don't need to prove anything. Like when you're really healthy and happy, you're like, I don't give a shit. I don't need to show anybody anything, right? And so it's been a very interesting journey to what's a grounded mission? What's a thing that will get me out of bed? What's a different, and it feels different. It feels very different than the first energy like 10 years ago. So I'm still in the middle of it. I'm still figuring that out. And I feel great today and I'm super happy. Life is wonderful, right? But it's just been a very interesting journey. So maybe y'all can relate to some of that. Like when your original mission is pulled away and you're like, who am I now? What do I want? Right? So I would love to hear some conversations about that.
Yeah, I can relate to no more struggle. All right. No more struggle. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I can relate. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, don't you think we're struggling when we're going against the flow, that we're creating some resistance of what wants to shift?
Yes.
And so as soon as we decide to release the resistance, then we won't have to struggle.
It takes courage, though, to surrender like that. Ooh, literally, God would say, look, you take care of you, I'll take care of your business. Like it takes a lot to just completely let go and go, I'm trusting that money's coming. I'm trusting that I'll be provided for when you have no energy to do something else, right? And so that deepened my connection to my faith, like so much, because we think we're the ones like, and maybe not. So Daryl, what were you going to say?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the devil we know is better than the devil we don't know, right?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing in the surrender is letting go into the unknown, because we're not geared that way. Our survival has always been based on, knowing, and society even, says know where you're going, have your plan and all of that. But there's a bigger plan, I think, within us, each of us, that, it's hard to surrender to that and allow that to come out when one of my mentors always said, all the old structures have to fall apart for the new that wants to come into being to arise, right? But we're trying to hold on to those structures. I hear, I'm just taking notes, and there's just so many similar themes going on in here. One is this mad at God thing. And
it's so silly, isn't it?
I don't know that it's silly.
I
think it's part of the process.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the process. And I also hear this pattern of it hit me, or, like there's this moment where we kind of realize that what's come before can't keep going. I mean, it can if we're willing to suffer, but we've got to allow something else to come about. I call it the initiation. So my particular story is, I spent 15 years as an executive recruiter. I had really grown tired of the transactional nature of that. And at the same time, I was going to switch to being a career coach because I wanted to be more of a healing presence, with folks. I also went through a $500,000 custody suit around my son. And, my son was 8 years old. His mom and I had split up when he was 2. And it was 2 years in court, 2 lawyers each. I mean, you can only imagine, okay, the expenses and everything. And then at one point, it was a real dark point in that particular story. I was watching him sleeping in my bed because my parents had come in town. They were sleeping in his bed because they had come to lend me more money. And I was just in this meditating state. And it was like, God, look at me. I'm 40. I have nothing to show for myself. I'm in a major career transition. I am deeply in debt. And what I got, and it's interesting, there's this pattern too of we all hear when we're open to hear. And what I heard was, you're exactly where you should be. Nothing has gone to waste. It's all perfect and exactly what you're to see to now become who you came here to be. And what I mean by that is, Barbara, you were talking about like, who is Barbara and all that. I think, we're all on this trajectory. To a certain degree, we're kind of like catapulted into life by our family of origin. Yeah. Certain things that we don't even realize till 40 years later have totally shaped our personality, and we're catapulted. And I think the gift, though it sucks when it comes along, is, Kamal, you said what it hit me. For me, it did hit me. It was a bag of bricks that it's like, oh, there's something, that I've got to step into now. And so anyhow, it kind of downloaded. It became my book, The Back 40. It actually took 20 years to bring this book out because it was in 2002 when all of that occurred. But it just kind of downloaded over time. And I actually wrote the book for myself. Mm-hmm. And Toni Morrison said, if there's a book that hasn't been written that you need to read, go write it. And so I wrote it for me. And the 7 chapters are first embracing our past, because as we move into life, we don't realize how much of that weight we're carrying, all of those family of origin, all those decisions, all those things that occurred in life that have left us with something. Then embracing our present, then embracing our gifts, because there's gifts that we all have that didn't come through school, that didn't come through, traditional training. Our values are different now than they were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right? And if we're living on obsolete values, where does that get us? And then, like I said, the initiation. What is that bag of bricks? Can we invite it so that then we then can step into our purpose and a presence? And when I say a presence, I'm just talking about something bigger than us that's now has the opportunity to run the show. So what it did for me is I switched into being a career coach. And so what lights me up is people making unheard of shifts later in life, because through the front door of careers, we got to keep doing what we've done. We're got to stay in our lane. Like I have a client right now. He spent 30 years SaaS executive sales. He was with venture capital companies and all that. He's now getting his master's in psychedelic pharmacology, and he's moving at 55 into a whole new world, and he's not going to take a lifestyle hit. So everybody's talking about like there's something bigger that we have to surrender into. It ain't easy, but I'm just, for all of us, we've tasted it. For everybody watching, it's possible. Just know it's possible.
Right.
So good.
I'll get off my soapbox.
No, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Anna, we haven't heard from you, have we?
Yes, so I can relate to parts of every single story shared because I think we all have a similar story, like you said, right? Something happens, life cannot go on the way it has. So I grew up and I was raised in a communist country. And yes, it influenced me very much. Talk about authority on the outside, and you have no choice in life. And I came to America when I was 16 and a half. And I came with a promise of some kind of a miracle that I watched on MTV, except it's not real life, right? So very quickly, my life took a trajectory, and I was a multimillionaire in my 20s, 3 times over, lost it. And I said, what the heck? If I have everything MTV and Dynasty said life should look like. By the way, that was my view of life in America, Dynasty and MTV, okay? This is like the scripted success. You have the career. I was about to get married, houses, dogs, all of the good stuff. I was about to get married in a castle, so add that to the story. And then it all just fell apart. And it happened a couple more times. And I said, if all of that I was raised with that's supposed to make you happy isn't making me happy and isn't lasting, then what gives? And my journey began in my early 30s. And in 2009, I had what I now know was an awakening, where I was truly awakened to I am bigger than flesh and bones. And that was like the moment when I was thrown into coaching world. I'm like, coaching? I was one of those people. If you're a coach, is it tennis, football, what?
Yes.
And I didn't know that's what I was guided towards, but that was my first coaching certification. And ever since then, I said, wow. So life based on you have a certain career, you get married, you have children, that is one way to go, where I was taught that was the only way to go. And I've been tasting life ever since then. And that's where the whole Sacred Success came about, where there is, and we are creating a new earth, right? Life is going to change. Careers are going to go away. The jobs we used to have are disappearing, and it has nothing to do with AI. It's just part of the evolution of humanity and where we're going, a new epoch beginning. So all the jobs we could rely on, we can't retire from because they'll be going away. So what I have been passionate about for myself and then people in the world is all of that you've been talking about. What is life about when it's not a scripted success checklist, punch list? What if life throws you a sick child, a dead husband, a career that completely goes off rails? What then? What more am I about if it's not just the boxes I checked off? Then what is the worth and value in me being alive? So now it's like, what am I here to contribute out of the gifts? I love that you said that, Daryl. There are gifts that we have carried. If you believe in prior lifetimes, I happen to believe we come in a huge array of things that we know that we don't know we know, that we collected over different experiences in different bodies. And we are here now to bring it on, because to bring it to the world. I love the story of the guy going from cells to corporate cells, going into psychedelics. That's where we are moving into. We are creating all new foundations for industries that don't exist yet, in healing, in education, in business, in all different ways. And we are the ones who have to ask ourselves, I don't care how old you are. If you're 70, that's better, because you have a lot of experience that you can now tap into and plug into the gifts that you have from the soul level, from whatever you believe in, soul, spirit. So this is our time to say, if that's the check boxes are no longer working, how do I shift it around and be different in the world and contribute in a different way? So what's my sacred success, which is I am here to contribute. I am here to make a difference. I don't care how old I am. I am not wasted if I'm breathing. There is something here for me to bring into the world. So that's what can you tell I'm passionate about it? That's what I'm here for. How do you pay your bills and all that?
Yeah, if I could just, if I can throw in there, the society tells us that our path in life is we go up and then we get to 40 or 50 or something like that. We have the cars, we have the golf course house and all that kind of stuff. But society tells us that there's a decline. I call it the up and out, the down and out model, right? What if it's all based on conversation? It's all based on mindset that we entertain. What if it's an up and out model? What if it's just continuing to express more and more of who we came here to be, and it's continually evolving?
I love that. I have some friends in their 50s that just keep saying, I'm old now, or, I reached 60 and I can't even stand it. I just want to smack them. It's just not, it's debilitating to have that mindset.
That's right.
And so I'm delighted to be with all of you, because you've got, we've got this momentum growing, that showing people that there is another way.
That's one of my things that I work with my clients, is that so often we are brought up with if we do this, we will have this, and then once we have that, we will be this. I have absolutely, okay, guys, we need to turn this around. Who are you going to be? And then once you be the person that you are supposed to be, your God-given talents, your God-given, destiny kind of thing, then you're going to do what you're called to do. And I always think of it as that thing that you are just absolutely, that makes your heart sing.
Yeah.
And once people see that your heart sings over doing something, then you're going to have everything that you could possibly ever want. And I think that's what the shift now is becoming, that we're realizing that we can, instead of it's the do, have, be, it's the be, then do, then have.
Yeah.
And
That's
I think
right.
that has made such a difference.
Yeah, I remember
there's
one line that went like, when you fall in love with what you do, when you
Yeah.
fall in love, just like when you first time fell in love with that person, right? When you
Mhm.
fall in love with what you do, you'll never work another day in your life.
Yeah. I love that.
And that's where you're bridging that gap. You're actually connecting your purpose with why you're here. And it's not about being philosophical. Am I going to create the world? And I'm going to create? No. Forget all that. Get real. What do you love doing?
Right.
What do you love? Do you want to read? Do you want to write? I have somebody printing 3D metal parts, making fortunes. 3D metal parts. I have a lady at 72 selling notes, making fortunes. What do you love? Who do you want to help? Find that purpose. And what is, don't make it too complicated, but get busy doing it. And it doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, 60, forget the number. Fall in love with what you do. You never work another day in your life. This
I think
way, you're not like those 65% who are stuck and broke. We want you to be part of the success elite, because abundance is your birthright.
And I
Dr.
think the reason coaches exist, though, is because left to our own devices, when we get to be 40, 50, 60, it's like the fear of falling on our face, the fear of looking stupid. When you consider these 20 and 25-year-olds that are creating companies and just, they don't have any fear of failure
Right.
because they're just
Right.
playing, they're experimenting. And so to learn and to infuse within the 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old crowds, experiment, play, be willing to get out there, forget the idea that you're supposed to be wise now and you're supposed to have it all together. Let all that go, go try, go play in some new sandbox.
Hold on, though. We have to deconstruct a lot of the stuff that we're swimming in, right?
Of course,
So often,
before that
and as you
happens.
talked about, it's like past life stuff. It's, well, you're a woman over 60 and you should, right? Like, so that's my work. It's just like, you want it, you have the passion, the fire, but what in the heck is that thing? So that's the work, right?
What's the invisible block?
Yeah, because it can be maddening. It can be really like, I just spent $10,000 on this program. Why? They got the result. That's what's, and so FYI, if you hit those blocks, that doesn't mean you're not supposed to have it, right? That just means you've got it. As I always say, you're fixing the wrong thing. We're trying to fix the externals or the strategy or a new website. Fix what's holding you back. So we need to hear from Dr. Nilu.
Yeah, thank you. I was, I didn't want to leave you out for sure.
No, I was listening and I was getting actually lots of common things, how your life is very close. I mean, our lives are very close to each other. And by the way, Kamal, you said something, it was really interesting. If we do what we love, we do not need to work another day. That's the reason is that because when we love what we do, actually we are hitting our core desire. And our core desire always give us energy, always bring us joy. So it's like, if I love to dance and that's my job, while I'm dancing, I'm enjoying. I mean, it's just fun. And that's my life actually being very much close to many of you in different parts. When I was 5 years old, I was thinking that I am an alien. I am an alien coming from another planet to help people and catch my, spaceship and go back as soon as I can. And for many years, I was looking for my spaceship. So I want to be to nuclear physicist and go that route and get my spaceship and go back until life remind me that it's not going to happen before I help people. So in my country, but I got to be a nurse. I figured out that me being a nurse is different from anybody else being a nurse. They came, they saw the patient, they gave the medication, they got out. I went in the room and we had conversation with these people and we joked and we laughed. And everybody was upset about that. My head nurse, all the authorities above telling me that, well, what are you doing? This is not right. And I just thought that I'm doing human to human relationship. That's how human should be. And actually, I had time of my life because I was working in the night. I talked to all of my patients. All of my patients know me. In the morning, they were giving really good report about me to my head nurse. My head nurse was bubbling that, what on earth is going on here? We are not happy with her. Why you guys are happy with her? That going back and forth, back and forth. Before I come here, I had a counselor and he was weird. I am actually weird magnet. I have all of the weird people coming to me. And for a while, I was telling myself and everybody that I am very normal, down-to-earth person. Why am I attracting all of these weird people around me? And my counselor laughing, and he was telling, oh, yeah, you are very normal. And he always joked about that. But before I come to United States, I was working with the group of the kids with the paraplegic kids and helping them to gain their walks and their movement back. And he told me that, hey, if you like this, you can be a great chiropractor. Fast forward years after, 23 years ago, I came to this country and with the love of being chiropractor, and I became a chiropractor. And while I was in the chiropractic school, I noticed something really interesting. All of the other chiropractor students, they had patients with a little back pain, little head pain, little neck pain. I had these patients that they had 20 years of arthritis and 40 years of the autoimmune disease and sad stories, depression. And I remember one day I was sitting in the clinic, I just talking to God. I told her, God, I am a baby chiropractor. What do you want me to do with these people? These are not anywhere near textbook. I really don't know what to do about this thing. And, since I didn't hear much back from God, so I thought that, okay, we are going to dance together. I'm going to listen and see that if anything comes to me. And I figured out that as I'm listening to these people, I'm joking. I'm a very funny person. I have good sense of humor. Joking with them, throw some of this stuff. Well, go divorce your husband. That was one of those things. Get rid of the dude or get rid of the girl. Or, I figure out that they are beginning to forget about their pain. They are changing. They are happier. We always laugh loud, obnoxiously in my room. People knock at my door, a notch down. So fast forward, I become a chiropractor. I figure out that my call is people with the much more difficult conditions. And as I was going, I noticed that humans coming to me as a package. It's not just a little bit of this or a little bit of that. And they want me to pay attention to every single thing, all of their life stories, all of their pains, not just a bit of it. Right. We sat and cried together. We sat and laughed together. I told them that I'm not a psychologist, but I am a couple of years to listen to them, a shoulder to cry on. And we begin to go on and go on. When they came in, they didn't want to leave. So as I was going through that experience, so I figured out that I am not feeling totally fulfilled. Yeah. My life wasn't happy. from all three aspects of the life. The wealth wasn't good. The uh, connection, the relationships weren't good. And because of that, my health was going downhill too. So I came to the point that my life didn't look real for me. And I was telling one of my friends about that. I told that, you know what? This life that I have is so bad that it can't be real. And she asked me why. I told her, well, look, I came legally to this country. I'm a highly educated woman. I'm very smart. I'm funny. I should make tons of money. I should have wonderful relationship, and I should be being a chiropractor. I should be healthy as hell, and I'm not.
Yeah.
And I know people around me that they come illegally to this country. They don't have even high school diploma. They make ton of money. They are having wonderful relationship, and they are healthy as they can get.
So what's the secret?
Well, the secret was that I wasn't about me. The life wasn't about me. The life was the program that I had from childhood. You know, you need to grow up, you are a girl, you wear pink, you play with Barbie. I didn't do it. I was always black sheep. That's who I was. But then you are a black sheep, and people, they don't want you because you are a black sheep. So going through that, always trying to make others happy and people happy. And then at one point, I figure out that I am like an empty well. I am trying to pour and overflow to others while I don't have anything.
Mhm.
And then that changed my shift view to what I was before thinking is selfish if I think about myself, to understanding that actually when I'm not taking care of myself, that is very selfish, because then I cannot give my gifts to others. And as soon as I change my view to that, I begin to do something that I call it quantum leap. And it began to happen one after another. And it wasn't painless, it was painful, but the results were coming so fast and without hustling.
Right.
And as soon as I begin to saw that boom, 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 boom happening in my life, I figured out that that's what I want to do for the other people. I want to make them happy. And I want to teach them that they don't need to hustle. They just need to get themselves out of the way. The life, the universe, the God is going to give it to us. Just we need to move that block that is me, and think that, and all of those programming, all of those identity that I took for myself years and years. So that's how I become to be a quantum leap coach. And I'm telling you, I love it so much that technology always been for me like a struggle. Like in any part of my life, when I came to pushing more than 4 buttons, I told her, okay, this is not for me. I am not good in technology. I'm not going to do it. But I love this so much that now I'm in the major storm of transitioning from one platform to other. I have absolutely no clue to do how to do even with this new platform. And I'm trying and I'm enjoying. I can stay up until 2-3 a.m. and do it to figure it out. But I know what Kamal says is right.
That's right.
I don't need to take vacation now.
So that's so beautiful, doctor. I mean, we're all programmed with something. We have a genetic programming, and then we have our conditioning up to the age of 7. Unfortunately, our parents, grandparents, neighbors, friends did not do us any good favors, especially if you were like me, raised and born in a country that's war torn, poor, scarcity, no food, no money, everything is hard, the word is evil. You become programmed with a thing. So you can go on trying the degrees and the certificates and the hustle. It's not going to work and it won't last. You have to change that paradigm. You have to change that program. As soon as you learn how to do that, things will start clicking, and you want to be in that flow.
Right.
Flow is
That's
so
the
good.
key, the flow. Learning. Like, I guess when we're with all those programs, we all have to learn, and I think everybody here would concur, is that we had to learn how to get into our flow, to have the courage to let go so that we can experience that magic, the mystical, the miraculous.
Yeah. My previous mentor, Bob, rest in peace, he said, learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. And repetition is the mother of learning. It's not hard to change your program. It's not hard to move
I am
forward.
very agree. Sorry, Kamal. I am very agree with you too about the courage to actually let trust universe, trust this process, and understand that word is for us, not against us.
I think the thing for us all to acknowledge, which we all have already, though, that anyone watching or seeing this later, is that it's not that it comes on a silver platter. Please go ahead and change the way you're thinking. No, it's like life is going to give you a whole lot of poop hitting the fan to catch your attention, right? To have you realize, and then it's, I don't know. I think I don't know what it takes for certain spirits to step into that and others to take the route of resignation. I don't know what that secret is. I'm just think we are also blessed.
I needed a cosmic 2x4.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what hit me. I was stubborn. I was going to do what everybody told me to do and follow the books and the corporate outline, and So,
and when we talk about learn, it's like, I've been doing a lot of work recently to really go into the whole neural networks of decisions that I made at a very young age, really even down to the Einsteinian choice of, is the world for you or is the world against you? That's like Einstein said, we all have to make that basic decision, right? But the point being is that what I've been seeing, and I don't look at it like I've arrived. I mean, I am going to keep evolving. It's just that I got on a path now of evolvement versus, trying to do the same things that don't work. But one of the things I think about unlearning, what you say, Kamal, is I have to invite the unknown into my life. I have to let go of control, because any control that I'm trying to exhibit is based on the past. And if I keep basing my life under control on the past, I can't have the new experiences that create new neural pathways, new, relationships with life and the universe. So it's a brave space to invite the unknown. Come on, baby. But I think that's what we all kind of did originally without knowing that we did it. And now develop, for me at least, taking it on as an open invitation.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. To me, it's a lifestyle. It's a choice that at some point we all get to make and say, there is no destination. We just get to keep choosing this every day. And especially when it gets a little tougher sometimes. Like, I'm full of joy, but let me tell you, it's a challenging path to choose to live this way, because you are constantly facing yourself, constantly, and there's nobody to blame.
But you know what, Anna? It's really funny. My clients, mostly they are coming and they want to have totally different experience of the life. And I always tell them that if you want to have wildly different experience, you need to do something wildly different. You cannot do the same thing and expect different results. That's a fact of it.
That's right.
Well, guys and gals, this has been absolutely an amazing conversation. So I'd love to have each one of you take like a minute to just sum up your final words, what you found something that resonated with you, whatever that is. So I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. So who wants to start? And then Amira, or Amira, do you want to just go around and call on people?
Well, sure, Dr. Nilu, why don't we start with you?
Well, my actually best thing is that what I told you, if we want to have different experience, we need to do different things. And hard work is not always the answer. If we see, have you ever seen a fly at the windowsill? They are working really hard to get out of the window. And many times we try to guide them 2 feet further. There is a door that they can get out, and it's much easier. But we cannot do that. And they are continuously heading their head to the window until they are dead. So we don't want to do that. Not every hard work giving us the life that we want. We want to actually pick the one that is in tune with our core desire. So figure out core desire, go, and we all need a guide. I have multiple coaches for this reason, because we all do need somebody that can guide us.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Nilu. Kamal, how about you?
Oh, thank you so much. It's been amazing. Just for everybody that's here and everybody that's listening, I want you all to start living on the frequency that you want to achieve. Be on that goal, right? And yeah, we're 40, 50, 60, 70. It doesn't matter. It's okay to ask for help. I raise my hand all the time. Ask for help. And you might be thinking, what is this going to cost me if I ask for help? Because guess what? It's costing you your life.
Yes.
It's costing you your life. Ask for some help. There's people that know a thing or two, and that can save years, decades.
Mm-hmm.
So much love. Look forward to connecting with all of you. I just want you to test it out. Test out the material from anybody that's here. They've got gold. They've worked hard. Test it out for yourself. And that's what you want to bet on yourself, like my good friend Les Brown said. Kamal, bet on yourself. And I want every one of you to bet on yourselves. Much love.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that, Kamal. Anna.
Simple. Don't be afraid to break it. Don't be afraid to break your life. Don't be afraid to break the formula. We're living at such a potent time. There is so much possible. I mean, my grandparents, like I said, I grew up in a communist country. So in Poland, in case anybody's wondering, in the 70s, I was born in the 70s. There was no possibility. There was no opportunity. We're living at such a rich time. And, we're living at a time where we can create and make money doing anything. And I think it was Daryl that had mentioned some pretty fun stuff that people make money out of. So don't be afraid to break it. Don't be afraid to create something new. Don't be afraid to get out of your own way, get out of your own box. Try something. If it's been inside of you wanting to come out, do it. And if it doesn't work, do it all over again. This is the time.
Beautiful. Oh, that was awesome. Thank you, Anna. Okay, Daryl.
Yeah, I think the nutshell here, and if anyone is now listening to this after the fact, and this came to you, I would just say it came to you for a reason. There's, take time to actually soak in. I mean, there's a lot of what could seem like Pollyanna, going on here, but nobody can be here speaking what they're speaking unless they've gotten to the other side of the block. That doesn't mean they've gotten to the end of the street. They've just gotten over that initial wake up. And I'm just going to say that getting over that initial wake up, as Kamal said, it's hard. None of us can do this on our own. None of us did, because we only have our own world of best thinking. You can't get out of your own world of best thinking. There's got to be something coming in to shake that up. And I would just say, wherever age you are, look, I'm a hopeless karaokeer of Sinatra. I'm a crooner. But like Barbara, you said earlier, you said something like living your best life. I'm all about the best is yet to come.
Yes.
Whether it's career, whether it's your personal life, new relationship, health, it is all in here. It's an inside job. Get some support. Your best is yet to come.
Thank you. That's awesome. You rock. You all rock. Okay, so what I have to say for you is I didn't share with you the message I got for myself in my near-death experience. And that we talk about our purpose and knowing what to do and making changes and pivots and all that. For me, the message was that you are energy, and learning who you are and mastering what that is the key to being fulfilled and to being living in purpose and fulfilled. And so I encourage you to get clear with your heart and your mind. Who are you? And if you don't know what that is, then there's lots of resources here that everybody shared. Please reach out to someone, but your job is to know yourself. And so have fun. Have fun. You're amazing.
Absolutely. And let me just add your banner here. That did not move. It did not come up. Oh, your banner. Oh, I'm so sorry, Amir. Your banner did not come up.
Oh, go figure, huh?
You know what? It's Murphy's Law. It's Murphy's Law. So
we'll blame it on somebody, right? It's not our fault. Well, we lost a couple of our speakers. Anna had to jump off. Therese had to jump off. So
yeah, gotta go.
So,
This has been awesome.
So just I want to welcome
and we are for whom the bell tolls.
And we are for whom the bell tolls. And so if anybody would like to do one of these shows, feel free to reach out to me. And you can just there on my LinkedIn and reach out to me and let me know that, hey, I would love to bring on a panel of my own. Because you know what? We all grow from listening. And I think it was Daryl that says, we can't do it on our own.
No,
we
learn
it's
so much more fun.
And it's so much more fun to do it together. So absolutely. Have an awesome day. We'll see you.
Barbara, one thing I want to ask you. Can you have a class about TikTok with us?
Sure. I'm just learning how to do TikTok. And here I'm 74 years old.
Beautiful.
And I was like, you want me to learn what? But you know what? We've all talked about it. Learn something new.
Have fun with it.
Yeah,
have fun with it. And I don't care. Thank you. Experiment. And one of the things that I think I have really realized that if someone does not like something that I'm doing, it's their issue, not mine.
Yeah.
Well, no, I love it. I love it, and I want to learn from you, girl.
Yeah, let's connect.
I want to thank everybody for coming and joining us. It made it just a blast. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amira. Thank
you. This was fun. Appreciate you, Barbara. Amira.
Okay, guys.
This was awesome. All right, so we're going to end stream.
Well,